How tariffs are shifting the U.S. economy and what that means for you.
He's the man knows what you need. Water, food, security, greed. No surprise when storms expand. Local prepper is the man.
Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into a topic that's been all over the news. Specifically, the new wave of tariffs rolled out in 2025 by the Trump administration. If you're wondering how these trade policies are shaking up the U.S. economy and what they mean for you, the average American, stick around. First, let's cover the basics. Tariffs are taxes slapped on to imported goods, making them more expensive. The idea is to protect local industries, bring jobs back home, or to pressure other countries to play fair in trade. In 2025, President Trump's administration has gone big. They're definitely not going home on this. They've gone big, posing tariffs like a 25% tax on goods from Canada and Mexico, a whopping 145% on Chinese imports, and a 10% baseline on most other countries. The average U.S. tariff rate is around 28%. It's kind of like the highest since 1901, according to Yale's Budget Lab. That's a seismic shift, but here's the million-dollar question. How does it affect you, the person buying groceries, clothes, or a new phone? Let's break it down into three key areas: prices, jobs, and the bigger economic picture. Now, let's start with prices because this is where you'll feel the pinch first. Tariffs make imported goods pricier, and studies show that businesses often pass those costs onto their customers. The Budget Lab estimates that the 2025 tariffs will raise overall prices by about 3% in the short term, costing the average household about 4,900 bucks extra a year. Clothing and shoes will be hit hard. You can expect apparel prices to jump 65% and shoe prices up to around 87% because tiny hands make these fancy shoes that you like so much for nothing. Low and middle income families will feel this the most. Why is that, you say? Tariffs are regressive, meaning they take a big bite out of a smaller income. Yale's analysis shows households in the second income decile, that means the middle 80% of America, lose 2.5 times more of their income compared to the top decile. Reuters Ipsos poll found 73% of Americans expect price surges, and half think it's worth it for long-term gains, but the other half, especially Democrats, disagree. On X, users like Anon News were sounding alarms saying tariffs are making supply chains pricier and less efficient, hitting customers hardest. Meanwhile, others are arguing tariffs could generate 300 to 600 billion dollars to lower middle class taxes, easing the burden. The truth? It's a mixed bag, but your wallet will likely take a hit before any tax relief kicks in. Now let's talk about jobs. The promise of tariffs is to bring manufacturing jobs to the U.S. by making foreign goods less competitive. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. It's not that simple. Harvard's Robert Lawrence points out that manufacturing isn't the job engine it was decades ago. Thanks to automation and changing consumer habits, even if factories return, they might not create a flood of jobs people expected. Worse, Penn Worthington budget model projects these tariffs could reduce wages by 7% and cost 770,000 jobs by year end, as higher prices slow consumer spending and disrupt supply chains. On X, the AP shared that the IMF warns of a worsening U.S. economic outlook due to the trade war, which could mean more job market pain. But there's another side. Some industries like steel or autos might see a boost from less foreign competition. Tim Cardian on X claims tariffs will bring factory jobs home, and the administration argues there's a tool to protect workers from unfair trade practices. Still, some economists warn that building new industries to replace imports could take a decade, leaving us with a sluggish economy in the meantime. Zooming out, let's look at the broader economy. Tariffs are shaking things up globally. Budget Lab says U.S. real GDP growth is down 1.1% this year, and the economy could be $180 billion smaller annually in the long run. JP Morgan warns that business confidence is tanking, pushing us towards a possible recession. Canada's economy is 2.2% smaller. China's down to 0.6%, and retaliatory tariffs from these countries are hitting U.S. exports like agriculture hard. The Federal Reserve is in a bind too. Tariffs are driving inflation up, potentially adding zero point 0.5 to 2.2 points to the core PCE inflation, and this is per the Boston Fed. But they're also slowing growth, making it tricky for the Fed to cut rates. JP Morgan predicts no rate cuts until September 2025. Coming off of X, Reuters noted that tariffs caused an unexpected GDP drop, spooking businesses. Then there's the global trade war.
Will be more.
Former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who did such an awesome job, called this the worst self-inflicted wound to a healthy economy, warning of a protectionist shock. Now, countries like China are retaliating with tariffs on U.S. goods, and some U.S. companies are even considering leaving the market to dodge the 145% China tariff. Now, this could isolate the U.S., as some predict, making it America alone rather than America first. So, what's the bottom line for the average American? Short term, expect higher prices on everything from clothes to electronics, maybe $5,200 more out of your pocket each year. And this is coming per the Center for American Progress, left leaning organization. Jobs? Don't hold your breath for a manufacturing boom, and brace for potential layoffs if the economy slows. Long term, the tariffs might force other countries to negotiate better trade deals, but they could also spark a global trade war that leaves everyone worse off. The internet is split. Some say tariffs are economic nonsense, tanking markets and consumer spending. Others see them as a bold move to strengthen the U.S. economy, but some are warning that the costs might outweigh the benefits unless paired with smarter policies to boost domestic production. Regardless of the outcome, we must maintain an American first posture, trust in our new leadership that we actually voted for, and prepare for what these actions bring, like water, food, and security in that order. So, what do you think? Are tariffs worth the pain of a stronger U.S. economy, or are they a risky gamble? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into what's shaping our world and how to prepare for it. And until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye.